Alright, welcome back to the channel again. We've had a lot of problems in this little bedroom. Been a bit of a pain. We've got a lot of damp marks on the ceilings and walls, which was I was putting in another video, but I thought I'd make a dedicated video just for its own of how to get rid of water stains on your ceilings and walls, because just putting emulsion over it isn't going to work. So let's get on with this video. Hopefully it'll be a shorter one than normal, but let's get on and we'll show you how to cover water stains on your ceilings or walls or wherever you got them. So here we go. You're probably not going to be able to see them as well because I have sanded stuff down and prepped walls. There you can see a water stain on that wall there. It goes around to the corner. Plus it also goes all the way along this wall. Well, it's probably a bit harder to see it now. But that goes all the way along there. Then up on our ceiling, you can see marks up there, and round by this light, which looks like the worst one. We've got a hideous watermark on there. They also seem to be appearing, although you can't see it as well now, but they seem to be appearing on this internal wall, which is just a lath plaster internal wall. So why we're getting stain on there, I do not know. I don't know whether the roof has had a big leak in the past, but there's another little water stain up there. But yeah, there's just water stains everywhere. Yeah, so once we took the paper off, we got back to the plaster. You couldn't see any water stains or anything like that. It wasn't until we got our a couple of coats on there and covered the walls that the water stains just started appearing as soon as it dried. You didn't see them when you put the paint on wet at first. So yeah, so basically you couldn't see the water stains that only appeared once it had a couple of coats of emulsion and the paint had dried. And then boom, they all just come out bright orange, looked an absolute mess, and there's orange stains all over. And then what we did try at first was just going over the stains with just a diluted PVA and water mix. We tried putting a coat over that, didn't work. So don't use PVA and water, no good. And I had a feeling anyway, even if it did work, the paint would probably peel off the PVA. So what we're going to do, we're going to put an oil-based undercoat in here. You can buy specialist stain blockers. You can buy a Zinza one, BIN, or Zinza bin. But a 5 litre tub of that, I mean, I need to coat all of these walls. It's not just a couple of patches. But a 5 litre tin of that is like £74. But yeah, so the actual stain blockers are expensive treatments. I suppose it's probably going to be okay if you've just got a couple of patches, but we need to do the whole wall, the ceilings, the walls, just to get rid of it, just to get rid of any little stain that's showing through, because it all shows up as yellow and it's really noticeable. We're just going to use some oil-based undercoat. We're going to thin that down with methylated spirits. I used to use white spirits, but it stinks, so I thought I'd try a bit of meths, see if that's any good. So yeah, so we're going to just thin our oil-based paint down, a bit of methylated spirits, and we're just going to slap it all over the walls. Hopefully that'll solve our problem. But if it doesn't solve our problem, you won't be watching this video, because I won't be putting it out. It'll be another video of the proper way to fix it. Right, so let's get on. We're going to thin our undercoat out. This tin is actually only 1.25 litres,
which cost me £9 from the local DIY store, so I could probably get it cheaper elsewhere. But we're just going to mix our paint up because you get a lot of the oil comes to the surface. Just use a stick or something that you're not going to use again. Try not spilling it everywhere. Just going to pour about half of this out into our tray. I've not used methylated spirits before. I usually use white spirits. But let's see how good this is. I'll just start with a thin layer on top of there. Alright, now we've got that mixed in all together. I'm just going to go over the stains first, just in case I haven't got enough to cover the whole wall. The reason I wanted to cover the whole wall is in case it gets a little bit patchy where this stuff is. Now make sure you use a roller you don't want to use again, because once you've used this it's going to be no good for anything. Right. That's it, just going to roll this on over our stains at first. And that's it, we're going to do our stones, hopefully try and do a lot of the wall with it. And I'm going to get the camera out of it because I definitely don't want gloss all over the camera. And I'll bring you back to see how much we've actually painted with this stuff. Right, so there we have it, that's a 1.5 litre tin gone. What I did with the second lot is I just mixed it up in a tin, which is much easier. And also used a lot more meths. When I mixed up that first lot, which was probably about a third of a tin of the paint, I probably only used, about that much from the top. But once it was in the tin, I actually put quite a lot more in there. I probably mixed it. It was probably about 20% meths to the sort of half to 2/3 that was left in there, just to make it thinner, just so I could cover the walls a bit more. But there we go, I've done what I wanted to do. I've done the ceilings. It is only a thin coat. You can still see some bits of plaster behind there, but you cannot see at the moment. Let me shut these windows. Very noisy traffic. Right, at the moment you cannot see the stains. But that's the trouble you have with emulsion as well. You put the emulsion on, you don't see the stains. You don't see it until it's dried. But yeah, so we've pretty much done most of the ceiling. You can still see like patches there. You can see it's only really a light coat, sort of like a mist coat. We had stuff above the doorway. We had stuff above the doorway here. We have patches on that part of the wall. I've managed to go around and cover the top third of that wall. There was some up in the corner of that ceiling, and also there was quite a bit over on this corner of the ceiling. But no, so we're going to wait for this to dry now. We're going to leave this overnight. I'm not doing any more in here today. Right, so we'll let this dry. We'll let this dry overnight, and we'll come back and have a look in the morning. Now I'm not going to use any trickery. I will bring you back in the morning to see what this looks like, whether it's worked or whether it hasn't. I might need to give it I might need to go and buy another tin and give it a second coat, because it is only applied thinly. But oh, please. All right. So in 3, 2, 1. Good morning. Here's the next day. Right, so everything was fully dried now, and the stains are looking covered up. Yeah, there was a bit up in this corner of the ceiling that was quite bad. We currently can't see that. Also, the top third of that wall, there was some sort of stain up there, which is now gone. It's basically up there, top third. I managed to get the whole ceiling done. The worst bit was around that light, which is gone. You can still see a couple of outlines of the old plaster on the roof. But yes, that's pretty much gone. It wasn't like I say, it wasn't a thick coating in paint. It's just a thin coat. You can still see through to sort of little bits of the ceiling, faintly. You could go out if your staining was worse. You could go out and get another tin or buy another tin. But you know, another tin of 1.25 litres, 1.25 litres was £9. So if your staining was still coming through, you could go and buy another tin. But I went over the worst stains a couple of times because of the methylated spirits. The paint was touch dry very quickly. We're now going to just go around emulsion the walls and see what they look like. We'll stick a couple of coats of emulsion on there, and if we do have any staining showing through, we can just go and get another tin of undercoat and put a light covering on there, and hopefully it won't show through after that. But let's get on. We'll get some emotions. We'll get some emotions on the wall as well. Right, so we'll get. So now we'll get some emulsion on the walls now and see what it looks like. Is this oil based? No, it's not oil based. It says it's water based, but I've not seen that on water based paste before. Interesting. This is probably why it's a bit creamy when you put it on. Let's give this all a good mix in then. Might take a while to get all this mixed in. Let's pour some into our scuttle. It's called a scuttle, that's what it's called. So I'm just going to go all up and down the corners of the ceilings, corners of the walls. I hate these brushes. Right, let's get on with doing this around the whole room. And we get to roller in. Some of the cutting in done. It's time to start rollering this joint. Get you out of there before you get splattered, like me. Come back soon, you hear? Oh, it's a bit brighter in here today for day 3. Why is that not straight? Hang on. Pretty much everything is covered now, and the stains are gone. Right, there you go. It's covered up most stuff. You've still got little bits you can see through there, but this top coat should now hopefully cover it, 1 or 2 top coats. But yeah, I'm still going to stop babbling on now and just get on with this. We're going to roller on, hopefully, our final coat. The camera's probably going to run out of memory in a minute, but we'll do a little time lapse of this anyway. Was it? Yesterday was the last day of decorating, pretty much. Paint's been drying overnight now, so the top coat on it, and the room is all done. Right, now as you can remember, there's all stains up along in that top corner, along the top of the ceiling there, also some over that side. We had stains along the top of the wall that are all now gone, and the worst stain that was right next to that light has now completely vanished. So there you go. You don't need to spend £43 on a litre or 2 litre tin of, you know, like the Zinza bin stain remover. You can't see anywhere where I've gone under the paint with an oil-based undercoat. Just, you know, even a trade value one. As long as it's white and oil-based, it doesn't show up at all. You can't see where. You can't see it, even though I did the whole ceiling with the oil-based undercoat. You know, I only did patches on the wall, and you can't see any patches on the wall where, you know, where you put the undercoat underneath there and gone over it. So that's did the trick. So for an £8.99, sort of just a value oil-based undercoat, we've now got rid of all our stains. White spirits tends to smell a lot worse than methylated spirits. Methylated spirits has a quite nice smell to it, really. I suppose that's why people drink the stuff. But even I've even tried like the low odour white spirits before, and it still stinks to high heaven. So I'm glad I used the methylated spirits, because the smell in here wasn't that bad at all. It's not turned the paint that pinky methylated spirits colour either. So I hope this video's helped you out. If you've got any stains on your ceilings or your walls, it's worked a lot better than I thought. Please subscribe. We've got plenty more videos coming up because we need to do loads in this house. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I'm putting new videos up, and hopefully I'll have some more videos that will help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, I hope.